Oladele, course lecturer for General Ecology, course code CBG 301. Today, I would like us to talk about ecology and important terms in ecology. I would like us to use the KWL method of learning, where K signifies what you already know about the topic, W, what do you want to know about the topic, and L is what you have learned about the topic. As humans, there is no way we can live in isolation or stay without the help of one another. We go into different relationships for different reasons. Even as animals, we need the help of plants. As humans, we need the help of both plants and animals. Today, at the end of the lesson, you should be able to define ecology, differentiate between ecology and symbology, and explain some important terms in ecology. Ecology can be defined as a science of relationship because it deals with the study of the relationship of living organisms among themselves and to the environment. What then is an organism? An organism is any unicellular or multicellular life that can exhibit all processes. The study of ecology is becoming more and more important as human beings continue to modify the environment due to different activities and actions. As an ecologist, there's a need to study the ecology and symbology as branches of ecology. So branches of ecology, we have symbology and horticulture. Symbology deals with the study of a particular habitat as a whole, where we have the plants and animals in such a habitat. For instance, we have the aquatic habitat. Aquatic habitat. We have the river, where we can look at the plants in the river, the animals there. At the end of the day, we will check if the river is a flowing river or not. For horticulture, it deals with the study of an individual organism. For instance, we have the study of the snake, where we will look at the biology of the snake. That is, the way of life of the snake, what it feeds on, how many eggs it lays, and so on. Both studies are very important in ecology, though the two studies would take a long time, but they are very important and crucial in ecology. The first term to look at is the habitat. What is a habitat? A habitat is a place where an organism lives. It deals with the surrounding of the organism and all the things that can influence the organism, whether positively or negatively. Where we talk about the abiotic factors and the biotic factors. By abiotic factors, we mean the non-living part of the environment, such as the sun, light, and so on. For the biotic factors, we'll talk about the plants and the animals generally. Therefore, we have types of habitats to include aquatic, terrestrial, and arboreal. By aquatic habitat, we'll be talking about whether the habitat is lentic, that is stagnant, or lotic, moving water. Then the terrestrial, we have example to include a farmland and the desert. And for arboreal, we have the tree top and the trunk. And such animals found there could be the squirrel and monkeys. Now, it is important for us to look at another term called ecological niche. Why ecological niche? Ecological niche because most times we tend to confuse habitat with ecological niche. Ecological niche can be defined as the role an organism plays in a particular habitat. When we say ecological niche, it is referred to as a confinement where we find an organism along with its way of life and what it does. For instance, we have a caterpillar and the aphid living on a particular organism. The caterpillar finds itself on the leaf and the aphid on the young shoot of the plant. At the end of the day, such relationship involve the two of them on the same plant, but they don't have to interact. Ecological niche can therefore be defined as the total way of life. A good example is shown by the sunflower, where it can absorb light, water, and nutrients for photosynthesis, providing shelter and food for other organisms. At the same time, the bee is seen to take nectar from the same plant, and at the end of the day, aiding pollination and helping other plants to supply oxygen into the atmosphere. We also have predation, where we have a bigger organism feeding and destroying a smaller organism for its food. The bigger organism is usually referred to as the predator, while the smaller organism is called the prey. As we can see here, we have about 3 to 4 lions feeding on the buffalo, and we also have a big snake and the toad. The snake is the predator and the toad is the prey. An interesting ecological term is also competition, where we have 4 or 5 organisms confined in a place with limited resources that can just sustain about 2 of them. At the end of the day, you see that with the limited resources, they begin to fight and compete for the available resources. At the end of the day, it leads to survival of the fittest. Commensalism is another interesting ecological term, where you see the fish, the smaller fish, the smaller fish, attached to the bigger fish, which is the shark. At the end of the day, the shark helps it to get to wherever it's going by a process called fluorescence. Symbiotic relationship. This is very, very important in ecological association, because with symbiotic relationship, we have what we call parasitism. A very good example is experienced by humans with the presence of mosquito, where the humans are the host and the mosquitoes are the parasites. In parasitism, we also have fleas on the dog and lampreys on the fluid of other fish. Lastly, we have mutualism. This is an association between 2 organisms in which both will be benefiting and will not be affected negatively. Both of them are dependent on one another. Mutualism involves both species because they benefit and is a win-win association. We have the insect and the flower. The insect goes to suck nectar from the flower, and as it's doing this, it helps the plant to drop pollens from the anther onto the stigma, and pollination is enhanced at the end of the day. Today, we have learned about the study of the relationship of various organisms to the environment. We have been able to talk about the surrounding, including the non-living and the living components. Also, we looked at the habitat as a place where an organism lives. We also looked at the ecological niche, how important, which states the role an organism plays in an ecosystem. We also looked at the different ecological interactions, which include parasitism, commensalism, and mutualism. I would like you to give various examples to differentiate between a habitat and ecological niche. Also, I want you to mention and explain 3 ecological interactions between organisms with relevant examples. Thank you.